wounded inner child is sabotaging your manifestation. Why? Because when we are acting from the place of our wounded inner child, he or she is just trying to feed on what's been missing in childhood. Hi, I'm Chloe and I make manifestation videos on spirituality, myth, and everything that interests me. So today's topic is about the fact that when we have an inner wound, it is driving our lives and probably sabotaging it at the same time. Why? Because the inner child that did not get everything it needed in childhood, that was denied, neglected, that was abused even, grows up in a sort of arrested way. Some steps, some stages are missing. And so what we're doing is constantly acting from this place and trying to fill the void, trying to maybe get what we didn't. And the solution, the only solution there is in grieving what we didn't get and that we will not get it from where we want to. It's our opportunity to become our own parents, but it also is one of the most difficult things you can ever do. One of the bravest things you can ever do. The wounded child grew up often without enough love, attention, validation, acceptation, unconditional acceptation of who they are. And so when we grow up and come into the manifestation world, there are many challenges that come because, first of all, we can mistake our goals with something serious that we really, really want to do, and something that the inner child, wounded, wants to do in order to get a need met, such as, when I become a millionaire, I will finally be worthy of my parents' love. When I have the perfect marriage, I will be fully loved and I will be free to be myself. When I have achieved this very complicated thing for which I have to work very hard, and I don't know, maybe it's a diploma, maybe it's building a business, maybe, I don't know, maybe you have big dreams, and often because the inner child didn't get to grow up normally, we can have ambition mixed with magical thinking. And so we don't just want to build a business, we want to build an empire. We don't just want to live in abundance, we want to be a billionaire or live in extreme luxury. We don't just want a life partner, we want the perfect partner, and so on and so forth. So that poses the first challenge, because especially now with society, social media, how do we know what's really our true desire, our true aim? So that's the first point. The second point is that, as I said, with magical thinking, we can have a sort of black and white view of things. That means that when we don't get things, like we don't manifest something, we can become, even though we know we shouldn't, we can become very depressed and very hard on ourselves, like mirroring the judgment, the criticism, and the sense of unworthiness that we were given when we were children. So that means that, oh, so I can't even manifest that, I can't even do that right, or I can't even stop my thought, I can control my thought, I'm not doing it right, it's not working for me. And so that can also work in the other way around. Like if you manage to manifest something, your ego can just inflate and you can think like, wow, I'm the luckiest person ever. I get everything. Everything is right for me. I'm the best. And then if you're not careful, there is a sense of entitlement that can come with that, because I would always encourage you to think of yourself as a lucky person and be positive about that. But you have to be careful that it doesn't seep in to how you treat people. The thing is, we often talk about narcissism on social media when we talk about the personality disorder. But we have to understand that narcissism is a healthy stage of childhood. When we are just very close to our mother, there is no separation from the mother and from the world. We think everything is I. So that is a great place to be at this age only. But in adulthood, it can take you away from responsibility and make you blame others for your emotions, for everything that goes wrong, and it creates a lot of problems in adulthood. And the problem is with adult children, there is this thing where the narcissistic need that was needed in childhood didn't get enough food or supply in childhood. So then we see these adult children trying to get this sense of validation, and because it means love for a child. You have to understand that for a child, this is the way they receive love at a certain stage of childhood, of course. So when we are stuck in this stage, we just want the universe to, like, the universe provides for us, or God provides for us the ideal foster parent, because they can forgive everything, they can give everything. And the problem when we grew up in a dysfunctional home is that we can also mirror the lack that we received. So that's what we see, especially in the First Testament of the Bible. It's a very unforgiving God. It's a very punishment-driven God. And we can mirror and repeat these patterns on ourselves through the law of attraction. So why is it important to focus on healing and integrating the wounded inner child? Because somehow this inner child is still driving your life. This inner child is your core material. It's what drives all of your beliefs. It's the core. So even if your adult self, your mature self thinks, of course I deserve this, of course I can do this, of course I can be responsible, I can do this, that, it is not your adult self really driving. Your adult self can do the things that you need in order to survive in your adult life. However, the wounded inner child will always try to confirm the wounded beliefs, like, I don't deserve love, so you somehow make it very hard for yourself. But when I say there is no blame, okay? Because you're doing it subconsciously, and it's from a place of wound. It's from a wound. And also, we have to understand that this wounded child trying to get things from the outside and repeating those patterns from childhood is just trying to survive. So this inner child is doing its best. The only great opportunity we have is the adult that is watching this video, that is integrating those facts. So there is no shame, there is no blame and no guilt to have, because you didn't know better. This inner child didn't know better. So no matter how many affirmations you read, how much visualization you do, how much manifestation work you do, it will always be your inner child attracting. So if this inner child is wounded, you have some healing to do. but of course it's very soft, and it comes through grieving, through accepting that what you're trying to get is mostly because your child is starving. It's starving for love, attention, and again, I've already said that in other videos. I really don't like the consensus on social media blaming and shaming people who want attention. Because once you understand the mechanism of needing attention, you cannot blame anyone for wanting attention. Um, it's it's the inner child, so it's only children. When I see someone wanting attention, I only see the child in them that did not get enough when it was the most important. So of course it can be annoying, it can be disturbing, and I'm not saying every person that is trying to get attention we should give them, because there is some like exaggeration in that too. But that's why I want you especially to apply this compassion towards yourself, because if you shame other people for wanting attention, you probably shame yourself for wanting and needing attention. Because even if you are not doing anything outside to seek this love, this appreciation, this validation, you are needing it inside. And because you are not providing it to yourself, you are sabotaging subconsciously your manifestation, your life. It is always this lack, this thirst, this hunger, this hunger. This is an inherent feeling that you do not get what you want anyways. So you can go around consuming, trying to fill the void with magical thinking, with the law of attraction. And I want to separate here that magical thinking and the law of attraction are two different things. Like, if you believe in God, if you believe in the law of attraction, that is not magical thinking. Magical thinking is really believing that something is either black or white, or that you can be saved without doing anything, that things are like, it would be applicable to everything actually, magical thinking. It is applicable to the law of attraction too. If you think you just have to sit here and never do anything physical ever, and never work on your subconscious beliefs, that would be considered as magical thinking. But anyways, you will always attract from this place. So the healing, as I said, comes from seeing what it is that you are doing in your life that is coming from this place of hunger, that is coming from this place of injustice, anger, and sadness also. Because first, in my case, I find injustice first, then under the injustice I find the anger, and then I find the sadness and the anger, sorry. And so that would be where I need to do the work. I need to grieve. Okay, that is what I needed. That is what I need to grieve now. Because no one will come to make things right. And so I am the only one who can do anything about this. I am the only one who can go down into my subconscious, find this wounded child that is crying and scared and that needs love, attention, validation. And I'm the only one who can hug her and be there and attune to the needs of the child. Because when we heal this wound, and that is an ongoing journey, of course, you cannot do it immediately just by doing it once. It's a care for life. You have to take care of your inner child for life, especially if you've been wounded a lot. But when we heal this part of us, the drive is completely different. The drive to manifest things does not come from a place of proving our worth, and proving our worth comes also to ourselves. Like, there is proving our worth to others, but is also like, oh, if I can attract that, that means I am worthy. That means I was wrong, and actually I deserve things. You deserve things just because you exist, okay? So that just changes everything. And when we start this work, it can be very destabilizing, because we realize how much we have done, how much we have thought was us, was our passions, our projects. It was just to gain something. It was just to gain worthiness, to gain love, to gain appreciation, acceptation, anything. Insert whatever your inner child is needing, because we have the same basic needs, but it would be very specific to you. And there can be a sort of dark night of the soul that comes with that, because you realize how much others around you are acting from this place. And so that's what happened to me in these last few months. I've just realized that how much people are acting from this wounded place, trying to fill the void with something that they really think with their heart, innocently, that it's them, that is what they want. But when you start to have this awareness, you start to see that actually it is not them at all. You can see the discrepancy between them and their false self, and it's very obvious. And then you can see it in yourself too, and that makes everything seem meaningless. Like, why are we even doing anything? That's what happened to me. And that's why I took a break on YouTube, and I don't know if I'm going to start again or it's just a singular video coming back, but I'm just very happy about coming back. And I have done that for a lot of things. Like, when I started to go through this process, I stopped to do everything I loved. Like, I was learning Chinese and Japanese, I was making art, I was making videos, I was making events with my other business, and I just stopped everything because I did not know if it was really me or if it was just to gain something, to prove something, to try to act normal, I guess, to try to be in the society, to try to fit in, to try to prove to myself that I can function normally with other people, and that I deserve to be seen, to be recognized through my hard work. But with time, it had just become about the results all the time. Even though I thought I was not focused on the results, I was just thinking, I was doing things for the result. And what happened is that I started to crochet again. And for the first time in my, it had been like 2 or 3 years since I had crocheted. And for the first time in my life, I actually enjoy the process of crocheting without being obsessed about the finished piece. And when I started to understand this dynamic, it also came back for other things. For posting on my Instagram about sacred feminine energy. And today with this video, I was so happy to think about just filming and just putting myself on my desk and just talking to the camera and just sharing my thoughts, because I know something is driving me to, like, I have a faith that I need to be sharing my thoughts on the law of attraction, on psychology, on all these topics, because they are my passion. That's my true passion. Like, perhaps it is coming in the beginning from trying to heal my own inner child, but I can see that after the distillation, because what I went through and what you go through when you start healing your inner child is like spiritual alchemy. And after the dissolution, after the death of every part that was not me, and I'm sure there are still parts that are not me, that are false, that I have took on just to survive, and I will do this work as I go, as I go through my life, as I grow old. But for now, I have really distilled the essence of who I am right now, and the drive is completely different. I don't know how to explain. It's less from anger for trying to prove that I can do it and trying to prove that I am worthy, even just to myself. It's just about enjoying the process. And for other things in my life, like for example for the crochet, I know it may seem small for you, but when you're thinking about manifestation, you're thinking about big things, and that is also one of the things that happened to me, is that I realized that this crazy ambition that I had was just a form of proving myself. It was just not my true desire. It was just what society told me that I could want, and everyone wants it and does it and shows it on social media. So I had started to integrate it. And so now my priorities, my goals, my aims are so different. And for example, the crochet projects I have done are the projects that I have, the best projects, my favorite projects I've ever done. And they're not the most beautiful, the most like intricate, detailed, qualitative things that I could show to everyone, but to my heart, they're very specifically what I wanted, what I needed. They're perfect, like it's perfection to me. And I could have never done that when I was trying to get a result and trying to show, trying to gain validation. And I only gained this result because I was liking every step of the way. And I think it's the same way for our whole life, because crocheting is just building something day after day, and it's the same thing about life. You build your life day after day, every day. And so instead of just trying to like make a sweater, instead of just making this sweater or making the shawl or this, I don't know, the little plushie, instead of just thinking what you will get, how you will feel when you make this physical object, or in your life, instead of thinking what you will gain when you arrive at your destination, or I have $1 million, or I have so many clients, or I have traveled to this place, I have a husband or a wife, and enjoy right now, because that is only by truly and authentically and soulfully enjoying the everyday that you can make a masterpiece that is exactly tailored to your heart, to your soul, and to what you need. And that is from healing the inner child wound, because the inner child, when it's not wounded anymore, when it feels safe, it starts to create magic. It starts to marvel at everything. It feels fulfilled all the time. I think the message for this video is out. I want to thank you if you watched until the end. and I am very excited to see you in the next video.